My name is Juan Estepa. I'm the Manager of Heritage and Urban Design for the City of Fredericton. This is Paul Jeffs, a masonry expert, and on behalf of the city, I want to thank him for sharing his expertise with us today. And to all of you, thank you for joining us. This fence, this ornamental fence, is originally the fence of the Provincial Normal School, which is the building behind us here, and it was installed shortly after the building was built in 1876. So the fence was installed in 1877 or 1878. Then a fence similar to this was installed in Officers Square prior to World War I. This one has evidence of change over time. You'll see that the initial version had just an entrance going to the school, and then when it became the courthouse, it had, and I think the opening is over here, is they actually had a semicircular driveway coming in. This segment of the fence from the Provincial Normal School / courthouse all the way to Officer Square is the newest section of the fence. It was constructed in the 1980s, and we know this based on photographic evidence and also on physical evidence. Photographs from the 70s and 80s show no fence up until the time when the Westmoreland Street Bridge was built and the Carleton Street Bridge was taken down, and when the Bank of Montreal building was taken down after 1984. And then we also know, based on the physical evidence, that this is newer based on the materials used. Rather than cut stone as per the original fence, we have concrete columns and capstones here. So we just finished looking at what we call the middle portion of the fence along Queen Street between the Provincial Normal School and Officer Square. We're currently here at Officer Square, and the stone wall that we see behind me here was installed in 1901. And we know this based on photographic and written evidence. And it was just the stone wall that was completed at that time. Later on, in and around 1913, just before the First World War, the metal ornamental fence was installed. And we're here with Paul Jeffs, a masonry expert.
Yeah, I would like to just address the condition of the wall as it is today, bearing in mind how old it is, the period that it would have been constructed. Its life would have been pretty good to begin with. It would have been relatively durable because horse and buggies were around in those days. But gradually, as the automobile came along, so did the need to provide safety on our roads. And so local authorities began de-icing salts use on our roads and on our sidewalks. And gradually, from probably around about the late 40s, but certainly into the 50s and beyond, the de-icing salts would have contaminated the wall, would have attacked the stone, but also attacked the mortar. And there's plenty of evidence of how bad the wall is today. Mortar joints are open, portions of the wall have obviously collapsed, portions of the wall are leaning over in quite a precarious condition. So it's not really surprising that the wall is really at the end of its life, and sadly is in need of some considerable work if we're going to move forward. The biggest problem would be, as I see it, trying to salvage any of the wall at all. Bearing in mind it would be heavily contaminated. My experience has shown that the cost of demolition to salvage the stone would be considerably greater than just bulldozing it down, and so the cost would be prohibitive. Cleaning the stone would be almost impossible to remove the salts adequately, and so almost certainly if it was resalvaged and used on another wall, then the salts would migrate into the new construction and jeopardize the service life of that structure as well.